Hey, welcome back. We have been busy at the shop lately, so thank you guys so much for your patience. Today's video is going to be covering everything going on at the shop, talk about some customer cars. We did a ton of work to the Chevy Astro van. You might notice my Civic is parked in there now, and unfortunately I had to make a really hard decision. I had to make a big sacrifice in order to help the business. And that sacrifice is selling one of my favorite cars of all time, my 1992 Dodge Stealth. Now, I really don't want to do this, but right now I'm currently like a little over $13,000 in debt just from initial startup costs, and I got to get rid of some of that. And I really don't need this car right now as much as I need this business to be up and running. And yeah, it hurts. This thing is in immaculate condition, inside and out. This thing is a beautiful car. It's done me really well. I've made some really good memories in it. It fits me awesome. It's got a killer sound system, and today I'm letting it go. Well, the car's sold. Had it listed for $5,000. Let it go for $4,500. I'm really gonna miss that one. Give him a deal. It's got some pretty big maintenance intervals coming up at 120K. He's definitely gonna want to do the head gaskets since it seems like the rear one's seeping a little bit, and could use some new rotors and an AC recharge. And it was a really good kid. He brought his dad along, and he had a 3000 GT in the past. Sounded like it was a little rougher, so driving the Stealth around, he was very impressed. He was having a good time, and I'm glad I sold it to him. I know they're going to take good care of it. Definitely not an easy decision, but my bills is paid. Speaking of bills, let me give you guys a quick walk around and I'll show you some of my new business purchases. So you guys have already seen my floor. It's holding up really well. I've been very impressed. This was a little over $3,000 to get my floor done, but it makes everything you put on it look a lot nicer. It's actually been holding up better than my epoxy at home. It's a little bit cheaper than epoxy, and I could take it with me when I'm done. You guys have also seen in the last episode, I got my Astro van and a sweet lift. Astro van ran me $2,500. I'll probably have around $500 of parts into it when I get this thing finally up and running right. And my lift, that cost me $3,200 all said and done, shipped to the shop. I picked up one new engine stand for our J-Series project, hoist I got for free. I got this dining room table and chair set from one of my shop neighbors, that was free. I picked up a couple more totes and bolt organizers. Those probably only add up to around 100. As far as my shelving system here, that was about 500 bucks. Luckily, I didn't have to buy any toolboxes or cabinets. I was able to bring all that over from my garage. We got that steel table from Gideon for free. I bought myself this nice floor jack, that was around 330 bucks. I got this really nice vise from Gideon. He had it sitting in his garage. This is a Wilton vise. You can see I have it in pieces right now. It was all seized together, so I pulled it apart, I cleaned it, and now I'm getting ready to grease it and put it back together. I finally splurged and purchased myself the M18 Milwaukee Fuel Impact, as well as a new charger and battery kit. That was around $350, but I tell you what, this thing has already paid for itself. See these pistons over here? I pulled these out of that Chevy LS engine, and they were not this clean when I pulled them out. I got them this clean using our new Sonic cleaner. So you can see I've been using it heavy. This thing has been nice for cleaning those small engine parts. This is the 10 liter, ran around $140. Inside this box here that I haven't opened yet is my new TIG welder. This is an AC/DC TIG welder that runs on 110 volts. That's all I got in the shop right now. This will allow me to do any aluminum fabrication right here in-house. Of course, there's a lot of little purchases thrown in there, a lot of little specialty tools. Like I got myself a nice spring compressor, a couple different bearing pullers, some hooks and stuff for organization. And I tell you what, it all adds up really fast. Speaking of really fast, as you can see, we got the Civic here. And no, I'm not looking to go crazy building this car right now. I actually need to pull a couple parts off it to sell. Things like the wheels, coils, suspension, steering rack, everything that I'm not gonna need for my rear wheel drive swap conversion. And it's nice to have it in here just to look at. Another box I haven't opened yet is this cell phone signal booster here. So I gotta install this. This will help a ton in this shop here. We're in a giant steel building and there is basically no reception. I can get calls every once in a while, but there's a lot of times people tell me, oh, they try to call and it goes straight to voicemail. So I think this is basically just an antenna setup. I'll have something mounted on the outside of the building, a cable running inside the building, and that should take care of that issue. So to cover a lot of these bills and expenses, I've been doing a lot of side jobs. So I think I mentioned in the last video that I had an F-150 that I was working on. So yep, my buddy Dan came in here and we replaced the front struts and upper control arms on his F-150. My old boss Dave came in here and I helped him wire up his aftermarket tow mirrors. My buddy Abe, who's got a GMC Safari, he had an issue with his alternator mounting bolt getting seized into his alternator. So I actually did a mobile mechanic job, drove out there and helped him with that. I've got a Camry coming in tonight that needs the hood latch replaced and an oil change, so we'll be taking care of that. And the word of crafting cars is spreading fast. Everyone seems to be telling their friends. And yeah, I was very worried about having enough work, especially not being able to work on the NSX for quite some time here. But it looks like the work is pulling through. To help get my name out there some more, I worked with Gordy's Graphics to get a really nice custom logo for the shop. This will be on a big shop sign and business cards. I've got a Google page now. Our official title is Crafting Cars Custom Automotive Solutions. I named it that because yes, I want to build custom cars, but if I need to help people with their car problems at the same time, I've got solutions. A lot of people have been asking me like how I'm feeling, how's business going. Obviously there's plenty of growing pains with the business, but overall, I'm feeling good. I don't feel like I'm going through the motions. I feel like I'm climbing up a ladder, but every once in a while, one of those rungs has maybe like some poop on it and I slip. But then I wipe that poop on my jeans and I reach up and I grab the next rung of the ladder and I pull myself up. My current goal is to put in enough work to make around 10K a month, try to focus the business more on custom cars, try to, kind of move away from the side jobs, but I still got to do what I got to do. At 10K a month, I should be able to cover my bills comfortably and have a little left over for saving and improving the business and getting ready to poop out a kid. Well, the Camry showed up. I had the customer pop the hood for me, and even with the hood popped, try to lift up on this latch and you're not getting any action. It's got to release like that in order to get the hood open, and it wasn't doing it. So I had to go in there with the screwdriver, pry this back, and eventually we were able to get it. But yeah, it looks like I just got to take this cover off. I think it's only 2 bolts and a cable holding this thing in, so this should be a breeze. All right, before we throw the plastic cover on, let's just make sure it works. Easy. We'll clean it up a little bit in here. We'll get some new clips for her. There we go. That's not going anywhere. I gotta change the oil on this thing too. One thing I noticed when I was doing this oil change is the filter is supposed to have this little tube inside of it. It's just like a little support tube, and it keeps it from kind of crushing or deforming in on itself under pressure. And it's part of the housing, and the housing they had on the car did not have that tube. So I went ahead and ordered another housing. I let the customer know that, hey, you're probably going to want that in there. So we'll have to schedule that, get them back in sooner rather than later. We got an 8th gen Civic sedan in here for a quick inspection. The car just hit 200,000 miles. The owner wants to drive it for the next 5 years and avoid any major issues. So I know it's got a check engine light, so let's go ahead and scan that first. We only have a couple codes here for the evap system. These can be caused by something as simple as just an old gas cap. That's always a good place to start before you go looking for like a purge valve solenoid or something like that. So we got those cleared. On cold start, this thing runs really nice. I heard after a while the idle can kind of feel like it's skipping a beat, but I talked to the owner and they said they haven't done plugs for as long as they own the car, so wouldn't be a bad idea. Another common problem with these 8th gen Civics is the doors, they close themselves, which is not good. Say your leg's in there, that would not feel good. So just got to replace this little door check here. Let's pop the hood. R18, no shit. Looks like the battery was replaced in 2023, so that's good. Air filter looks pretty damn good. Good as new. I noticed the power steering reservoir is a little low. These are a little easier to read if you shine a light behind them. Coolant reservoir is looking pretty low. We should top that off as well. Now I did drive the car here today and it handled pretty tight. Oh, the hood prop clip is broken. Maybe we'll add that to the list. Anyway, the thing handled really nice, but the customer wanted me to check out the suspension. So let's get this thing up on some jack stands. So this is the first thing I saw. Definitely got some oil collecting at the bottom of the power steering pump there. All right, we'll look into that a little closer. Engine mounts look really good. Sway bar brackets look awesome. I'm not noticing any play or wear in any of the joints. Taking another look at that power steering pump from underneath and reaching back there with my hands, the fluid is definitely coming from where the power steering line's made up to the power steering pump itself. I've actually had a similar leak on my CRV, and that checks out because our reservoir was low. The next section of this video will be dedicated to the Astro van. I've been doing a lot of maintenance work to it, and I'm ready to get it off of the lift. So it took a lot of digging around, but here was my solution for our front and rear e-brake cables that were too short to connect in the middle. So for the front cable, I made my own end for it. It's not the prettiest thing in the world, but it's holding up really well. I crimped it a little tight, and I ended up putting some solder on there for extra strength, and it is extremely strong and fits in the bracket really well. Then I've got a 5/16 by 18 left-handed thread here and a couple nuts to secure it, just like they used in the OEM style. And I got this turnbuckle that matches the threads with the rear cable. Now I can put these together, get the threads started. Once I'm happy with the tension, I can use this lock nut. So check this out. Right now the e-brake is disengaged. I can spin the wheel no problem. I'll go inside, put some real pressure on that pedal. I want to make sure we're not going to snap that cable. It's got to be able to take all my weight. So now the e-brake is engaged. This thing is not moving. Let's check the other side. Yeah, we're good. Now, that cable's so tight, when I actually go to release the parking brake, you can see the pedal actually comes up on its own now. Pretty nice. Before it wouldn't do that. And I think it's supposed to snap up a little faster, but I mentioned in the last video, I think there's an assist spring in there that might be broken. But besides that slow pedal, we now have a working parking brake, which is going to make it so much safer to park this thing on a hill, especially if we're parking it on a hill with a trailer attached. And that means I can move on to the spark plugs. Woo! Yippee! Sheesh. So there's a second one, and it really smells like gas. Yep. This one kind of felt cross-threaded. And that's the 6th plug. So you could tell obviously it's been running rich, but the electrode itself does not look really worn out. These might not be that old. You can see they still have pretty fresh dielectric grease on them. This leads me to believe that it's probably not the spark plugs causing the hard starting. Chances are it's the fuel pressure regulator. These 4.3 Vortec engines are kind of known for that. They have a weird spider style injection. Back in college, Gideon had a Chevy Blazer and it did the exact same thing this Astro van was doing, where it was hard starting. He replaced that, and I think it fixed the issue. And here we are. We got a new gasket set for that plastic intake cover. I got a distributor cap and rotor kit from Red Dragonfire, and here is a new spider injection system with a regulator. You know why they call it a spider injection system? And just like that, our new spider injection system is locked in. The cover's back on. I wrapped this AC line with some hockey tape because the foam was getting everywhere. I didn't want any of that falling down into the intake. And as far as our wiring, I got that reloomed as well. I do got to get a new map sensor though. Unfortunately, the rubber on this one is falling apart. But would you look at that? The contact on the rotor looks like it's melting almost. And the contact points inside the cap do not look too great either. All right, I got my hands on a replacement rubber for this map sensor. Map sensor's back in, we're all sealed up. It's looking a lot nicer under here than when we found it. So the steering wheel was kind of falling apart on this Astro van, so one of the previous owners decided to wrap the entire thing with electrical tape and then put a wheel cover on it. So I really don't like wheel covers at all. I don't like my sticky steering wheel that's falling apart in there. So I picked up a new steering wheel, a factory replacement, but I'd consider this OEM Plus. It's off of a different Chevy truck, a little higher end model. This one is leather. Kind of smells like black ice air fresheners. Oh yeah, this looks way nicer. You can see this is just the foam rubbery one, and this one is the actual stitched leather. Oh yeah. Oh man, that was on there. That turned out really nice, and the color's not even that far off. So we've been putting a lot of love into this Astro van, but I think it's worth it. These things are pretty special. I mean, we got it for 2,500 bucks, so what do you expect? It's gonna need a little bit of work. One thing I have noticed though is that the wheels are looking a little bit low on air. It's been sitting here for about 2 weeks, and yeah, I think it's gone down a little bit, probably due to the fact that the wheels have heavy corrosion, so the sealing bead's probably pretty corroded as well. I don't think I want to get aftermarket wheels for this thing. I really like the OEM style wheels on this car, so I might just get them refinished and get some nice tires on here with maybe some white tire lettering. But to address this issue today, I've got this little guy. It's an Airmoto air pump. I don't think I've ever seen an air pump this small. It has a built-in compressor, got a built-in LED light. You can change the unit of pressure. It's kind of cool. You can program different presets, whether you're using it for a car tire, motorcycle tire, bicycle tire, or like a sports ball. It's got some different tips depending on what you're using it for. Me and my buddy Dan used this tip the other day. It works good for just like a generic air pump. We were working on his F-150, and I just got done doing the struts and the upper control arms. Got everything back together, and he noticed when he was on the road at like 45 miles per hour, if he accelerated, he was hearing like this rattling noise coming from his front left wheel. Well, sure enough, the four-wheel drive system on that truck has vacuum actuated hub locks, and one of them was locked up, even though he was in two-wheel drive. I followed the vacuum line from his hub up into the solenoid in the engine bay. I disconnected the vacuum line from the solenoid. We hooked this up, pumped some air into it, found a vacuum leak, fixed it, and got him back on the road. So that was pretty cool. So I checked online, and it looks like 35 PSI is what's recommended for this car. It's kind of cool. It'll also show you exactly where the tires are at right now. So just got to screw this John in. All right, so we're a little low. We're at 31.5. I think we just hit the button. It takes a little bit longer since it's so small, but it's kind of nice. You can just walk away, grab yourself a rope or something. And there you have it, 35 PSI. It's pretty slick, and like I said, it's not the fastest thing, but you can keep it in your glove box, and it sure as hell beats stopping at a gas station anytime you gotta pump something up, or lugging around one of these portable air compressors. So I just hooked up the battery in the Astro van. We got brand new fuel pressure regulator and spider injection system. We got brand new distributor cap and rotor, brand new gaskets from the intake cover up, new map sensor seal, new hood latches, cleaned up interior, reloomed wiring harness, and a new leather steering wheel. And it does look really nice in here. Let's just hope that it drives nice. So let's start this thing up and feel for any misfires. Oh man, it's always nerve-wracking after doing this much work, starting the car up. Okay, let the fuel pump prime. I didn't hear anything weird. I figured it would take a little bit to start since everything is dry right now and nothing had fuel in it. Seems to be running okay. Whoa, never mind. Looks like we got a major fuel leak. Big fuel leak. Oh god. Looks like the fuel's coming out this O-ring seal for this plug here. Oh, never mind. Looks like it's coming out where the hard lines go into the cover. Maybe they're not pushed back in far enough. Well, sorry about that, guys. I think we got it squared away though. Here's how the bracket was positioned before. As you can see, the ridge is not being held down by the bracket. It's just kind of pushed off to the side. And here we are now. Here's the bracket pushing down on that ridge. I was able to push both the lines down quite a bit farther. I think it was actually easier to slide them in now that everything was soaked in fuel. Now let's make sure we're not leaking. All right, looks good. Will it turn over? Beautiful. And look at that, I could balance an 8mm socket on it. So let's finally get this thing off the lift. I'm gonna have a big mess to clean up under there, and we'll pull this outside. Oh yeah. I got a lot of the gas cleaned up, a lot of it evaporated, but look at all this rust on the floor. Not good. Well, anyway, this thing is running really nice. I did a quick idle relearn procedure on it, and you guys saw how fast it started up before. So even at operating temperature, if it's been sitting for a little bit, it'll start up like a dream, and the idle is so smooth now. Before, on a warm startup, this thing would crank forever. You guys know how it goes. Anytime you do a little mechanical fix on your old car, or maybe a small cosmetic upgrade, you get more and more attached to it, to the point where you never want to sell it. A lot of people would look at an old car like this like a throwaway van, but I think if I stay on top of it, keep up with those little changes over time, in about 5 years, we'll have something really cool here. Thank you guys once again for tuning into Crafting Cars. I think this is all gonna work out, and a lot of that has to do with you guys, so thank you so much, especially for all the inspiration along the way. Oh, and thank you for all the good feedback on the last video. I hope you guys stick around to see what this turns into. All right, bye-bye.